I found what looked like the perfect iPhone desk mount on Makerworld. It had a clean design, a flexible arm, and it supported magsafe charging, exactly what I was looking for. But after printing it, I discovered one problem. My charger didn't fit. In this video, I'll show you how I modified the design, built a custom replacement part in Tinkercad, and eventually got it working perfectly. The model is called MagSafe Phone Desk Mount on Makerworld. First of all, a big thank you to the creator, Matt J. Mack. Out of all the phone mounts I looked at, this one came closest to what I wanted. I wanted a desk-mounted phone charger, a flexible arm that could be adjusted easily, a clean and compact design. This model checked all those boxes, so I downloaded it and started printing. A few hours later, the print was finished. Everything looked great. But when I tried to install my MagSafe charger, I immediately noticed a problem. The circular slot designed for the charger puck was slightly larger than my charger. And there was another issue. The cable opening was designed for a shorter cable connector, while my charger had a longer cable joint. I tried forcing it to work. I squeezed the charger into place and mounted my phone. For a moment, it looked fine. Then, the phone fell. I tried again, and it fell again. My iPhone 14 simply wasn't being held securely. At that point, I had two choices: either abandon the project or redesign the part that wasn't working. The good news was that I really liked the rest of the design. The model is made of several separate parts. The arm was perfect. The clutch mechanism worked well. The bolts and mounting components were fine. Only one part needed to change: the phone holder itself. That meant I didn't have to redesign the entire model. I just needed to replace one piece. I opened Tinkercad and imported the original holder. My first thought was simple: I'll just modify the existing design. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. The imported STL came in as a single mesh. I couldn't ungroup it or easily adjust dimensions like the charger opening or cable slot, so I changed my plan. Instead of modifying the holder, I decided to build a new one from scratch. I started with a charger pocket. A ring shape gave me a good starting point. Then I added a second ring on top to prevent the charger from falling out whenever I removed the phone. Next, I created a channel for the cable. To do that, I flipped the design and added a rectangular opening large enough to accommodate both the cable and the cable joint. Finally, I created the mounting section that connects to the original arm. I added a screw hole and adjusted the angle slightly. My thinking was that if the phone leaned back a bit more, gravity would place less stress on the magnetic connection. With the design finished, it was time to print. A few hours later, I had the first prototype. The charger fit perfectly, the cable fit perfectly, everything looked promising, but there was still one problem. The phone was still falling. The redesign solved some issues, just not the most important one. At this point, I knew exactly where the weakness was. Since I had complete control over the design, I made two more changes. First, I reduced the thickness of the outer retaining ring. That allowed the charger magnets to sit closer to the phone. Second, I increased the mounting angle. This reduced the amount of force pulling the phone away from the charger. The changes were small, but sometimes small changes make a big difference. Printing and testing again. So I printed version 2, installed the charger, mounted the phone, and this time it worked. The phone snaps into place securely. Charging starts immediately, and when I remove the phone, the charger stays exactly where it should. Success. This project taught me two things. First, customizing an existing Makerworld model isn't always as easy as it looks. And second, if you understand the fundamentals of design, you can usually adapt a model to fit your exact needs. If you enjoy 3D printing, Tinkercad projects, and solving real-world problems with simple designs, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next project.